Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Nisiri Missions, where we talk about the different types of disability and address the myths and the stigma surrounding disability in Africa. Today, we're going to be talking about Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is the second most common neurodegenerative disorder after Alzheimer's. It is estimated that about over 6 million people worldwide suffer from Parkinson's disease, and it's the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease in the world. I'm going to start by defining Parkinson's disease. I'm going to talk about the causes and also the symptoms that you see or you know and you can tell that you have Parkinson's disease. I'm also going to talk about the treatment, and thereafter, I'm going to dive into the myths and the stigma around the people suffering from this disease in Africa. What is Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's disease is a neurodegenerative disorder, which is just a big name for degeneration or loss of nerve cells in the brain. The nerve cells, or the neurons as they are called in the brain, are responsible for the transmission of signals and information to effective organs that carry out the action. In the case of the person with Parkinson's disease, they lose the neurons in the part of their brain called the midbrain, which is deep inside the brain. And when they lose this, they're not able to produce, or they have low production of the neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that helps in transferring the signals from the brain to the organs that carry out this function and help to coordinate and also control body movement. So, how can you tell that you have Parkinson's disease? Or how can you tell that someone has Parkinson's disease? Again, because dopamine is being produced and it sends signal to muscles or motor part of the body, you tend to have problems with both the motor part and also what we call um, the non-motor part as well, which I'm going to address shortly. So let's start with the motor symptoms. What are the things that you can see? Number one, the people with Parkinson's disease tend to have tremors. And these tremors basically means shaking of the hands. See, their hands are shaking. But it is not everybody that has shaking of hands that has Parkinson's. In the case of Parkinson's, their hands are shaking even when they are not doing anything. You see what we classically call the pill rolling kind of tremors. So look at my hands. My hands is at rest right now. I'm not doing anything with it. I'm not doing anything with my hands right now. But people that have Parkinson's, you see them, their hands shaking, and you have what we call the pill rolling, even when they're not doing anything. This is different from the other types of tremor that I might address later on, that affects other part of the brain, that you have the shaking when people are shaking when they're doing something. We call them intention tremors or action tremors. Maybe when they want to take something from you, you see their hands are shaking, and that and all of that. In addition to shaking of hands, some people that have Parkinson's disease will tell you that one of the things they notice is that their handwriting became very small. When they're writing, their handwriting becomes small. Some people just have mask like kind of face, like they're always looking very serious, and kind of like they have a mask on their face. The other symptom that we see with Parkinson's disease is the muscles become rigid. So this is my hand right now, and if you want to pull my hand, it goes this way, right? But for someone with Parkinson's disease, when you try to pull their hands, It goes this way. It's rigid. We call this lead pipe or cogwheel kind of rigidity. The other thing that people with symptoms with Parkinson's disease have is they have slowness of movement. Some would describe it like they feel like their legs are stuck to the ground. So when they're walking, they want to take a turn. It's very difficult for them, and they walk very slow. They take their time, and that leads us to another symptom that we see in people with Parkinson's disorder. They have what we call problem with their postures. So you see people with Parkinson's disease, they tend they have specific kind of posturing. Even when you tell them to get up, they have this posturing. And even when they are walking and you tell them to take a turn, they usually have their hands by their side, and they have this shuffling kind of gait when they're walking. And all this makes people with Parkinson's disease very prone to fall as well. The other symptoms that we notice in people with Parkinson's disease is the non-motor symptoms. So I just talked about the motor symptoms. What motor symptoms basically means is what affects the muscles. That's why you see the shaking of the hands, the slowness of movement, the postural imbalances as well. So when we talk about the non-motor symptoms, people with Parkinson's disease, some of them complain of they cannot smell. They begin to lose their sense of smell. Um, some of them have, constant constipation. Basically, things are just slowing down. They are constipated. Some of them have mood symptoms. They have problem with sleep as well. In addition to that, some of them also have memory loss. So many of the symptoms we see among people with Parkinson's disease. So, what causes Parkinson's disease? Unfortunately, majority of the causes, majority of what causes Parkinson, we don't even know. That's what we call idiopathic. We don't know what causes the disease. And in some cases, um, genetic and also environmental interplay has been associated with the cause of Parkinson's disease. People that are exposed to heavy metals, or they are exposed to a lot of toxins like pesticides. And also we have things that increases the risk of having Parkinson's. Of course, as you grow older, you're losing cells generally in your body. And that also happens to the cells in your brain as well. As you get older, you lose some of the cells. But don't forget that even though age, people talk about age 60 to 65% of people, 60 to 65 years, where we also have what we call the young onset Parkinson's, whereby we have younger people also having Parkinson's disease as well. The other thing we see is that we see um, more of the male patients compared to female um, having Parkinson's disease as well. So, what is the treatment for Parkinson's disease? Unfortunately, Parkinson is a progressive disease. So, what we do is to provide help or provide medication to help to give the person a better quality of life. And the treatment given to people with Parkinson's disease, we talked about them losing neurons. Remember when we started this topic, and because they are losing neurons, they are losing this neurotransmitters called dopamine. So what we work on is giving them medication that will increase their dopamine level, that will help them function. Aside from dopamine, we have other neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, serotonin, because there's imbalance among also these neurotransmitters that we give to people with Parkinson's disease to help them to help their functionality and also to improve their activities of daily living as well. For those that are refractory to medical treatment, we also have surgical treatment available. We have the deep brain stimulation, whereby electrodes are being implanted in the deep part of the brain called um, the substantial nigra as well to help them function. So that's a brief overview about Parkinson's disease. If you have Parkinson's disease, I recommend that you make an appointment to see your neurologist and the doctors that specialize in taking care of Parkinson's disease are actually the movement disorder specialists. There are neurologists that have also studied more and specialized in movement disorders. They will be able to help you um, with Parkinson's disease. So now I'm going to dive into the myth and the stigma associated with Parkinson's disease in Africa. Unfortunately, like every form of disease or disability in Africa, um, there's complete ignorance about these diseases. Now, a person that has Parkinson's disease is not bewitched. They are not cursed, and it's not because they did anything wrong to deserve what's going on. We need to come together and support those people in every way that we can. Unfortunately, a lot of cases in Africa remain undiagnosed, and even those that are diagnosed remain untreated. And even for those that are able to get treatment, what is the continuity plan for them to continue getting treatment, for them to keep getting their medication as well? So this brings me down. There's a lot of work to do about Parkinson's disease in Africa. I'm calling on all stakeholders, calling on the government, calling on the pharmaceutical companies to do more researches concerning Parkinson's disease. And also, a lot of advocacy has to be done as well to create awareness about this disease. And also, the government should put in policies and also to implement and also to put in place health strategies to help people with Parkinson's disease. And the other thing we can do is to encourage a lot of, to provide training for our doctors in Africa, so that way they're able to help to specialize in movement disorder, so that this way they're able to help people with Parkinson's disease. If you have Parkinson's disease, look for the nearest support group in your environment. Look for the nearest um, hospital and make an appointment to see your neurologist and your movement disorder specialist to help you with this disease. Thank you very much, everyone. Let me know if you have any question. Drop your comments. Um, below the video. And also, I want to say big thank you to Sabini Villas, which is a forefront company that sponsor our program. And if you are in the diaspora or you're based in Nigeria and you want to purchase a property, please reach out to Sabini Villa. They are tested and trusted, and I have their link also below this video. Thank you once again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.